All right, Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, so let's get it. So what's up, everyone? We appreciate you all sitting with us or listening on the go with us for another episode. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Christian Hayes, aka AO Shifty, and you have my boy Steven Springer, aka Steven_Springs, with us for another episode. As always, we want to say thank you to everyone that always listens to our podcast. We have started to end up seeing a lot more people listen to it. I know I went to an event tonight, not going to say the name, but they were even interested in understanding bridging of the gap that we're always doing here on the We Got Next channel. And I think it's something that over the weeks and months, we have started to notice more people, and with more people following, we do get more haters. And Steve and I always bring that up, but it's something that we do appreciate it because you're taking the time to listen to it. You can't say you're not going to listen to the rest of the video unless you start. So you have to click on it. So thank you to everyone that does that. Before we get into anything, Steven may or may not have seen these videos that I'm about to bring up, but Steven, we're about to go into the fast break videos.
I can't wait.
So, so the first one we're going to end up getting into is, kind of a funnier one. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, I've seen this.
You've seen this one?
Yeah.
So the wild part about this one, and we'll play it for everyone again. I think the crazy part is, one, he doesn't look as big coming right off the line on the side. But after this, I was like, damn. And then that one. And you think it's over. I was like, shit. All right, it's a wrap. Oh. And this one, he didn't have to do. He could have just kept running at the last one.
Yo, I'd be that would be me running down the sideline as a parent. If that was my son, I'd be sprinting down the sideline, like, pumped as hell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn near half the defense.
Like, what do you do as a parent if you're on the defense? You're just like, all right, sport, like, we'll get them next time. There's nothing you can say because that kid should not be playing with you guys.
No, you don't even bring it up. You don't even bring it up to your kid. No, like, unless they say something about it. No, you don't bring that up. What is this?
So, did you see this one?
No.
So I'll set the scene on this one. So this guy.
First of all, where is this? Where is this? This looks like somewhere over in Europe, in a warehouse gym.
You're absolutely right about that part. I'm pretty sure when I looked at this video, it was in Europe. Clearly, the ref made a call that the other team did not like, and this is not something that would happen in American basketball. But also, look at the hoops. That's a big giveaway. I don't think I've gone to many places and seen the hoops like that, but I'll just end up playing this and let everyone out there just watch for themselves. So he was clearly mad. Ref said, I am out. And can we talk about how he scaled that?
Gone. Bro, gone. Oh, he's still chasing after him too. So, all right. So like, look at the dude in the white. Looks like Ric Flair. I know. And then no one else on oh my God, it is gone.
Dude,
no one else.
Where to go. And he's not coming back.
Bro, there's so much to take away from this. Look at this gymnasium. Like, look at that. Look at where this is. Look at the stands. Look at the people in the stands.
And he still was trying to chase him. Everyone else is just watching on the sidelines. Like, damn, yep. Here he goes again.
I just want to know where this is. Like, is this where Nikola Jokic played overseas? Is this where he came from? Yo, first of all, I gotta tell you, I understand why players get mad at NBA referees. Mm-hmm. That is such a difficult thing to officiate. Yeah. I did it with a buddy. Quick story. I did it with a buddy. This is when I lived back in State College, back home. And I did it with a buddy. He called me. He's like, yo, you want to make $100? And I was, I think this is my junior or senior year of college. He's like, you want to make $100? And I said, obviously. He's like, can you ref an intramural basketball game with me or like a tournament? And I was like, sure, dude. Bunch of college kids. Yeah.
Yeah. How hard can it be?
What he failed to mention was that it wasn't just Penn State. It was like the intramural basketball tournament of champions from like schools from all over like the Northeast. So like it wasn't just like Penn State, it was like Villanova, Temple, Syracuse, like all these like big time schools who had kids who were like taking this very seriously. And it's so hard to like touch fouls in the NBA, or just like everybody gets them wrong. And like I had no idea what I was doing, what I was looking for. If I just heard that, I would blow my whistle. And dude, when I say people were pissed,
they get hot,
bro. After the game, and like I think we did it. I think we called like 3 games. We officiated 3 games. And the last game we did, which was the championship game, we had someone who was with the PIAA, which is the Pennsylvania Intercollegiate Athletic Association, or Interscholastic, whatever it is. And so we had someone on like an actual referee do it with us, who would actually call the fouls, and we were just like standing around and whatever. After that was over, bro, I got out of there. I was like, nope. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not sticking around. I'm not helping you guys clean up. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm gone. My boy called me. He's like, where are you? I was like, bro, those people were gonna follow me in my car and kick my ass.
Yeah, they would have. They will find you.
They were all like chilling. They were all like hanging out and watching the championship. And I'm like, no, dude, like I'm getting out of here. Like, fuck that. So that's such a hard sport to officiate. And like, I get it. Like, some of the calls are just like super egregious, but like when you don't know what you're doing, and like we all think we know what a foul is, but like you really don't. Like in the moment, calling a charge or a block, or like, like someone's like side swiping to go up for a shot. Like, no, nope.
Exactly.
Not happening. Nope. Like the train, like you can't, no. General public, general fan.
You're not seeing it.
No fucking way, bro.
Yeah. And you might hear a slap and it's not even with the play. It's
it might be 2 other guys that are just like hand fighting for position. And you just like hear it and you're like, oh, whistle. And bro, when I tell you, like, I got death stares every time. And my boys looked at me like, that's on you, bro. Like, that's your call. I'm like, bro, I need help with this. I can't see shit.
Yeah. And they'll blame you. That's the thing that annoys me, because they'll blame you for the call. But yet, if you're like, all right, you make the call. Nah, I don't want no parts of that.
Nope. No, sir.
So,
no, sir. I was like, $100 is not nearly enough for this shit.
No.
To put my life at risk for that? No.
It's not worth it.
Nope.
But you brought up refereeing, and I want to bring it into quick slants in college football, because of course everyone talks about like Ohio State and their games and referees. But what you got coming up with the quick slants?
Yeah, so I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, talking about the special guests that we're going to have, and I've been talking about it all season. But we're going to have our boy Jordan Hill, former Penn State football player, All-American, All Big Ten, and 3rd-round draft pick of the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champ. I'll give the whole rundown tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Maryland game from this past weekend, which I was at, and then we have Michigan coming up on Saturday. Huge game for us to kind of, we had a little bit of a slump in the middle of the season, but it's a good opportunity for us to kind of get back on a winning streak and get back on the winning side of things, get to 7-3. So there's a lot to talk about, and we'll talk about, I'll go over the game, but we'll talk a lot about Jordan's time at Penn State. It was all during the Sandusky scandal and everything. So we'll talk about that, talk about the NFL, talk about all that kind of good stuff. So it'll probably be one of the longer episodes that we do, but it'll be really good content. So I know everyone's going to want to listen to that one. So hopefully we'll get a lot of views and a lot of listens out of that one. So
yeah, we should. Yeah. I tell a lot of people that the quick slants is extremely underrated, that people, when they come away from that content, they can learn more so in depth, because a lot of the mainstream stuff you hear, they'll just touch on the surface. But with Steven, you can end up going more in depth, position by position, and understanding it, and just getting a background of like what Coach Franklin's going to end up talking about, and also what is happening up there day to day at State College. Moving into the next thing, before we end up talking about cryptocurrency. So I've been thinking about this story all day, and it involves McDonald's and stuff like that. So I went to the dentist this morning. I was like, all right, before I get on the highway, I'm gonna go to McDonald's, just get a quick caramel frappe. That's
Wait,
the only.
You went to the dentist. You went to the McDonald's after the dentist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Not before.
All right, I was gonna say. Okay.
And so when I went there, And I should say this for the end, but it's just going to be on my mind. And so when I went to McDonald's, nobody was in like the parking lot. No one was in the drive-thru. I was the first one. And I was like, all right. Like I said, hello. Because if they don't say anything, I always say hello. Nothing. So then this red pickup truck comes up behind me, just like chilling there. So I'm like saying hello. Then I see 2 cars in the other drive-thru pull up. And I'm like, they better not get their orders done before me. So I'm like, hello. They both got their orders done before me. Then the guy behind me is like, what's wrong with the machine? Everything good? I was like, I said it twice. They didn't say anything. I was like, fucking idiots, like always. And I was like, all right, he clearly comes here a lot. So then they finally end up answering to me, go through my drive-thru, and I'm at the first window, nobody's there. So I go to the second window. He's behind me. Y'all don't want to answer the screen or anything today? Like, I'm over here waiting. Got 4 cars in front of me, and you guys don't want to end up serving me? Do I got to talk to a manager or something? Like, all this shit is just fucking idiots. I was like,
he's just belligerent early, dude. He just
and then the lady is like, I'm sorry, like, I apologize. Like, sorry? I've been waiting here and I got to wait in line. I'm thinking in my head, I appreciate you being on my side for this, but you're going to get your food. Like, you're going to get your food at the end of the day.
It's not like, bro, it's not like you're waiting for a kidney transplant. Like, it's McDonald's. You're waiting for a McGriddle or something, you know, calm down.
Exactly. Damn, so that's really what it was. But I was just thinking, damn, people will get hot in line, like calling people. I think they probably don't even want to work there. Like, they just have to work there to get money. And yet you making their jobs worse than what it is.
What's good though? Your teeth all right? You all good?
Oh, I'm straight. You know, the regular cleaner is gonna end up doing that. Just got to check on it.
Bro, I hate going to dentist. Like, no one likes it. Like, do they realize that like they have like out of all like the doctors out there, like they have like people respect them the least, because it's like, hey, how many times are you flossing? And you're like, I'm like,
you're gonna lie.
Well, yeah, first of all, you're gonna lie. But even if like, let's just say like you are flossing. Like, I try and floss every day. It doesn't happen, but like I try to. Like, you can tell, hey, I floss 7 days a week. They're like, all right, well, I need you to floss 8 days a week.
Yep, it don't matter what you say.
But like, bro, you act like they're just like making shit up. Like, yeah, I need you to get like all the way in like the back behind like your teeth. I don't have the tools to do that.
Yeah, it costs money.
Yeah, bro, I'm not trying to get like a scalp and like get back there. Like, no, bro, like, I'm gonna get back to it like with my toothbrush and like the little handled, you know, flosser. Like, I'm not. Oh God, just clean my teeth, bro. Just clean my.
That's all you got to do.
I'm good.
So I wanted to touch on that really quick, and now I'll go into the cryptocurrency, because I know some people this week have been talking about, oh, this coin's going to go to $1 million. This is going to end up making my portfolio go to $1 million. So for the people out there that are interested in wanting to understand different cryptocurrencies that potentially have a lot of gain, don't look at cryptocurrencies that are already $1 billion and think they're going to go to like $1 trillion. It's almost impossible to happen unless it's Bitcoin. But I'll give you some picks that can end up setting you up for like 5 good cryptocurrencies. If you have enough in it that can end up potentially making you hundreds of thousands or millions. This is not financial advice. This is just me researching and understanding the market, because there's people out there, no advice. Yeah, they'll think this is advice instead of doing their own research. I do appreciate you guys respecting me and thinking this much of me, that what I say is
Christian is not a financial advisor.
I know we got to say that a bunch of times.
Christian does not give solicited financial advice. We have to mention that. I'll mention that every chance we get. I'll put it in the description on YouTube. This is not financial advice.
Exactly.
Go on.
The first one is Quant Network. So this is one that's interoperability, dealing with like the overledger. They're doing a lot of big things in Europe. Another one is Time. They have a lot of APY. It's Wonderland for everyone out there. The ticker symbol is Time. Blocktopia is huge in the metaverse. They did just have a huge sell-off, because a lot of the people on the inside, and more so like people that have had Blocktopia for a long time, the ticker symbol Block, they did sell when we thought it was going to be in December, but it became in November. But this is another one that I have a lot of belief in. I think it's going to do very well in the metaverse. Another one is Intergalactic Gaming. So everyone out there that does follow me, you know that I talk a lot about IGG.
These names just
wild stuff.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. We need to have a segment, a show dedicated to who comes up with these names and how they come up with them.
So be happy you weren't on one of my other segments I did talking about different names. I promise you the names that I heard. One was like Shiba Pup. Another one was She-Bands. They have some that are out there called like Dinger and Kitty and things like that. Yeah, wow. I'm gonna get into some of them in a second. The other one,
please do.
the other one is Panther Protocol, and this is in the data and privacy space. They're coming out with their public sale later this month. So those 5 will put you in the correct direction. Make sure to do your own research with it. Ones that I have gotten into that I strongly recommend you all looking into that are more so not as risky, but they are risky. All cryptocurrency is risky. Merit Circle, which is big in the metaverse, and then Saito. Some people might say Saito, I'll say Saito, but it's a blockchain. So focus on those 2. I got into Saito when it was around 5 cents, and now it's currently sitting over like 8 cents. So that's a decent gain that you can end up making off of that one. Now the memes, which are the ones that everyone wants to know about, that's going to make you billions and trillions of dollars. So last week, Steven, I talked about it because this one guy put, it was either $5,000 or $10,000 into Shiba Inu, and they made over $2 billion. So, but that's kind of the same thing I explained to people. Him putting $5,000 to $10,000 and making $1 billion is like Michael Jordan not making his high school team and then becoming a Hall of Famer. Like, that's not everybody.
That is a great comparison.
Yeah, it's not happening to everybody. Like, it'll happen to some people, but you also have to, one, in terms of the cryptocurrency, have that much luck. But in terms of Michael Jordan, he was just very skilled. Like, it was more so they didn't see his whole potential. But the ones I have for you all, Floki is one that a lot of you guys know because Elon Musk named his Shiba Inu Floki. Another one is Frieza Inu. So,
bro, like I like, are you just making shit up now?
No, I kid you not. Everyone out there, you guys know. So it's Frieza Inu. The ticker symbol is Freenu. So it's made off of Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, but they just add everything Inu nowadays. Another one is Kiba or Kaiba Inu. And the crazy thing about this one is Steven saw it earlier, but the Island Boys.
Do not do this, Christian. I specifically told you to not bring it up.
Do that one.
And you're good. Everybody who wants to know what Christian is talking about, he will post it after the show. He's not going to talk about it right now.
I won't talk about it, but I'll talk about Soulja Boy. So Soulja Boy is another one that did mention it. Rich Homie Quan has also mentioned Kiba Inu. A lot of this is marketing and promotion that they do have. A lot of these companies do have a marketing budget, so they end up paying different people. I won't talk about the IB person because I cannot bring it up. I told Steve.
I'm just gonna add Inu to the end of my name.
You should. You would be better off.
Steven Springer Inu.
Yeah, because the next one I bring up is Zeno Inu, and this is another one that does have a good amount of potential. Then the final one is Kawhi Kiba, and that's on Binance Smart Chain. So I'll go back through it so you guys know. Is that
Kawhi Leonard's son?
No, so there's a game called Kauai Island. So I feel as though it's a mixture of both that they're doing. And a lot of these are plays off of different animals that Elon Musk might have. Elon Musk controls a lot of the memes. But so going through the blockchains that they're on, so you all know. So Kauai Inu is on Binance Smart Chain. Zeno Inu is on Uniswap. Kiba Inu is on Uniswap as well as Binance Smart Chain, so PancakeSwap. Frieza Inu is on Uniswap. Floki, you can get almost anywhere now. Gate.io, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and then Tiger Cub. So you know what this is from. So Tiger King. So a lot of people are expecting this to go up. It dropped right now because a lot of big time accounts holders sold it, but it's supposed to go back up because Tiger King is supposed to come out November 17th or 18th. So that's what they're expecting to happen.
That's soon. Damn.
Yeah. So, and then the final one is Saint. So this one, they do a lot of giving back towards shelters and stuff. At the end of the day, they are meme coins, so there is extreme a lot of risk. And all of this follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin drops, everything's dropping. Don't think yours is about to go against the grain. It might look like it's going against the grain, but over time, Bitcoin has outperformed all the assets over a 10-year span. That is not me saying I hate it because I'm involved in probably 5 to 6 different meme coins, and I have made good money off of them. I just want to let everybody know. I'll go through the cryptocurrency stuff very fast so we can get to the sports because there is a lot of conversation I want to have there. But there are a lot of politicians that are starting to say that they support Bitcoin or want to take their pay in Bitcoin. So we have the mayor of New York, the mayor of Miami, there's a mayor of like Tampa Bay and a mayor of Jackson. And my big thing I want to say about this is don't just fall for these people and vote for them because they are saying that they are going to take Bitcoin as their salary. This is how easy it is for anyone to say they accept Bitcoin or are going to take the next paycheck of Bitcoin. I could say, you know what, Steven, I work for your company. I'm going to pay you $1,200 in US dollars. Steven can say, I accepted a Bitcoin, convert it straight to Bitcoin, and say, I accept my salary in Bitcoin. No, you did not. You accepted it in dollars and then transferred it to Bitcoin, or the other way around. They could send it to you in Bitcoin. Right when you get it, you transfer it to US dollar. That's not you technically accepting it, it's accepting it, but then you're transferring it back. And then also, some of you all might have the funds and means to have enough capital in US dollar or fiat that you accepting that $12,000, not really that much, but for a regular citizen thinking Mayor Suarez in Miami accepted it, that's a lot for them. But just wanted to bring that up. Don't just fall for every single politician saying they accept it, because I've seen some politicians saying they're going to accept Bitcoin. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to Bitcoin. So listen to what they say, not just do as they did. Another two things I want to bring up. So there's a company called Niantic, and I got a shout out to Sarah, aka Had Crypto, and she's in the Luxo community. She brought this up because the PGA Tour and Coachella are kind of working with Niantic, which is the developers of Pokemon Go, to work on augmented reality. So if anyone doesn't know about augmented reality, it's not virtual reality where everything you have to like the goggles on or anything like that. It's more so like the Pokemon Go version. Like if you put it up, you might see either the Pokemon or like different things virtually, but you're still in the real world. So that's like the augmented reality. The virtual reality is everything virtual. Think of like cyberspace or Ready Player One. Those different ones are virtual reality, and that's what we are getting towards. If you notice, Facebook changed the name to Meta. Don't really support Facebook all that way, but I'm not going to say that out loud all the time, because Meta is going to control everything regardless. They're going to buy things. Microsoft is doing the same thing. In that regards, another big thing I want to say is Apple CEO has confirmed that he owns Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yes, the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, hasn't acknowledged that he does own Bitcoin and Ethereum. Another thing is the cryptocurrency market cap is $3 trillion. So for everyone out there that thought that cryptocurrency was going to go away, Bitcoin itself is worth over $1 trillion. And then the total cryptocurrency market is worth over $3 trillion. That's huge because there are over 10,000 coins and tokens that are out there in cryptocurrency. Just wanted to end up giving you that. I like to give you all the snippets, and then I go in detail on different like videos I'll end up making later. So make sure to check those out. Another thing I want to talk about is Mastercard. So Mastercard launched their crypto-backed cards in Asia. So this is like the trial that they're doing, and then they'll start to expand it. It's big because these cards, if I wanted to go to 7-Eleven, and I have done this before with the Visa card by Coinbase, I went to 7-Eleven to buy some taquitos using Quant Network. And
you
I
love taquitos, bro.
I love taquitos. I will always get taquitos.
Hell yeah, you do. Hell yeah, you do.
I will wherever I go. So I swipe, I purchased taquitos. It on my side was Quant Network, but on their side they got dollars for it. So it worked out. There was a small fee for it, but it was just easy money I had. I didn't have to go look for like quarters and pennies and stuff to just use my card, and ended up working. So I'm happy for what MasterCard is doing in that space. And BlockFi filed to have a spot ETF. So that's a big thing because the more people that are filing for these different spot ETFs, it's promising going forward. I was at an event tonight that was with a company that was or was not Bitcoin futures ETF, and they did say it might take a minute for a Bitcoin spot ETF to get passed. The difference between a spot ETF and a futures ETF, a spot ETF is physically you putting money on the stock exchange, and then they'll end up buying Bitcoin for you. So it's held and it's tied to the Bitcoin, but a futures ETF is looking forward, and it's a little easier for the SEC to get a part of it and approve that. And that's when I was talking to these people that are working with the Bitcoin futures, if they are or not going to say that, but they do know that information. That's how they were able to help out with this getting passed along. So that's basically everything with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Don't want to end up like saying too much with it. It's a lot of information, so make sure to end up rewinding and playing this back. But I always want to end up giving you guys the different cryptocurrencies. So I want to give you ones that can make you money, but of course, Steve and I both know this. Nobody cares about being patient. They just want money tomorrow. So I wanted to give you guys the meme coins as well as the safe cryptocurrencies, because the one that Shift Movement does have their reserves in. Quant Network is one, Luna, Terra is another one, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Unison are the ones that we hold our reserves in, as well as the stock market, because those are more so higher value market caps. So it's not as volatile as the higher risk ones, but everything cryptocurrency is volatile. I want to move over into college sports before we talk about the professionals. And the first thing I want to talk about is college basketball. So Steven, did you see the shot Tyson ATN did at the buzzer?
I did, yes.
Okay, so I'll just give everyone a recap. So Tyson ATN, pretty good player for Wichita State. They're playing Jackson State. I'm pretty sure like Jacksonville State. And he crossed half court. When he crossed half court, he just stood there like wasting the time, pulled up. First off, it wasn't the logo like people are thinking midfield. It wasn't mid court. It was like the Wichita State logo was pretty big.
Huge.
So
yeah.
So he was like on.
It was 30. It was like 35 feet.
Yeah, it was still far. Don't get me wrong. It was a very far shot. And he pulled up and made it. So the part I want to talk about, I told this to Steven, the Steph Curry effect, like the Damian Lillard effect, it started to get on my nerves, because at first it was 3-point shots. That's where everyone's shooting from. Now people want to just shoot from like the logo on like half court, and it's taking away from some things. You even see LeBron doing it, and it looks great when they make it. They're not making every single time unless you're like Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Trae Young. They're making it more often than not, and they're practicing this at like halftime in practice. But what are your thoughts on when they just keep going farther back? Because I feel as though half court's going to be the next thing.
I think you got to look at like some coaches just give certain players the green light to shoot from wherever. And in that situation, I think the game was tied at that particular moment when he shot it. I think it was tied. It was the end of the game too. So like it happens sometimes where those plays, there's no way that was drawn up.
No,
like it's either A, it's drawn up, or B, the coach is just like, all right, look, it's in your hands. Just do what you want. If you want to do ISO, do an ISO. If you want to take the shot, take the shot. Like you have the green light. We're tied. So the worst that can happen is you miss it. We go to overtime. So like there's no downfall to him missing it in that situation. You know what I mean? So I like they're just gonna keep doing it, you know?
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like it doesn't I mean, certain players obviously know that they aren't gonna they're not gonna do it. But I think if you're a 3-point specialist, which sometimes you kind of like more players are now being labeled as that, they're just going to get the green light to just be able to do that. But there's not like, I don't want to say there should be like a limit on that shot, because if you have the green light, you got the green light, like take it, but at least get it to the rim. Like if you're going to take those shots, and I've seen LeBron take those shots effortlessly, and I've seen him take that shot multiple times, and there's sometimes he takes it effortlessly and it's not even close. I've seen him take that shot effortlessly and it goes in. So it's just like certain, like LeBron's going to have that, like LeBron can shoot from anywhere he wants to in the court. Like he can get it in like the back corner 93.5 feet away and shoot it with a 25-second clock. No one's gonna say a word. But you know, if you know the eighth guy on the bench comes off and shoots it from half court, unless it's a heat check, which that happens. If you got the green light, go ahead and do it. But if you're not one of those players, and there's maybe one of those guys on the team, or like one or two of those guys on each team that has the green light, unless you're one of those players, don't take that shot.
Yeah.
And like coaches like who are youth coaches, don't like that. That's not a good shot for your kids to take. Like you got to like teach them if they're going to like, I know most kids who are playing, they just want to play with their friends. But like, if you're coaching one of those teams like AAU, or if you're coaching one of those teams that's like, you know, you have a lot of like legitimate players, you got to teach them like the X's and O's. You got to teach them offenses. You got to teach them moving without the ball. You got to teach them how to set good down screens or like help defense or like, you got to teach them everything. You don't just like, if you're a shooter, don't just like teach them, okay, like anywhere from like 23 feet back, that's your shot. Like that's just bad coaching. So it starts with that. And then like it extends into college, extends and then into, I mean, it's different once you get to the league because like certain players can do whatever they want, but like players in college, they can't do that. Like unless you're Jimmer Fredette or one of those guys who had like the ultimate green light. But like that's a very rare case. Even like Steph Curry had like a kind of greenish light, like a yellow light type of thing in college. But like it doesn't, once you start developing that, sure, but like don't like, that's just, it starts with coaching. Like don't let that be what you draw up in the huddle.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about there. Another thing a lot of people are talking about, I think it's from Memphis, Amani Bates. You can start watching a lot of college basketball. We'll start to pick back up on that because you'll notice some sports fall off and then we'll start to cover other sports. The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick is college football. So with the college football playoffs not too far away, the top five I'll just list. So number 1 is Georgia. Number 2 is Bama. Bama's coming back for that number 1 spot at the rate that they're going. 3 is Oregon. Oregon came back up there after their loss. 4 is Ohio State. And then 5 is Cincinnati. I will say with Cincinnati, the teams they play is the reason why, even though they keep winning, they're falling is the big reason why. And if they were playing some of those same top teams as others, it would be there. But who are you going to choose, Bama or Cincinnati?
They have that win over Notre Dame. Cincinnati does. So like they just need Notre Dame to keep winning, to keep making that win look better. Obviously Notre Dame, I mean, Cincinnati needs to keep winning. If Cincinnati loses once, I mean, they're done. Which is like unfortunate, but again, it's like, again, you're a group of 5 teams, so you're not gonna get the same kind of love. After Georgia, I have no idea who like any of like the good teams are, because Georgia's the only team from like the beginning of the season until now that's looked like the best team in the country. I mean, Alabama almost lost to LSU. They had 6 rushing yards against LSU, and LSU is like what, I think 4-3. Ohio State did not look that good against Nebraska. Nebraska's not that good. Nebraska is one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. Oregon lost to Stanford, who's 3-6. So like I don't know who's. I mean, Cincinnati looks good, but again, like they play weaker competition. Michigan, they lost to Michigan State, but then Michigan State just lost to Purdue, and Purdue has Ohio State this weekend, so that might be another top 5 team that they beat, which would be dope because, I just love Ohio State losing. But then, you just like other than Georgia, I have no idea who could even compete with them, because they're just, I mean, no pun intended, but they're the top dogs right now. And this might finally be the year. And it takes it's weird because like in college football, it takes sometimes, there's it's like in college basketball, you have the blue bloods. In college football, it's the same thing. There's usually only like 3, and I know it's an obvious thing because there's only 4 teams in the playoffs, but there's really only 3 or 4 teams every year. Oh, and I forgot to mention Oklahoma. Like they don't look consistent. So like, where do you put them at? Like, who the fuck knows? They've had a quarterback situation, but like the quarterback Caleb Williams looks dope.
He looks good. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird, it's a weekly thing, which is why I love college football more than I love the NFL, and I still love the NFL, but college football is so like up and down every single week, and there's like most years you kind of know who the team is, and like this year it's starting to every week it's like Georgia is becoming like, okay, it's Georgia and then everybody else, but usually every year it's like the same teams. Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, used to be Clemson. They're having a down year. So, I mean, there's still 3 or 4 weeks of the season left, plus conference championship games. So a lot can happen, and there's always upsets. And like I said, there's still 3 or 4 weeks left. So like upsets are going to happen. That's just how college football is. So all it takes is one of those weekends to just cause a whole lot of chaos and a whole lot of confusion. Penn State doesn't have to worry about that because we shot ourselves in the foot multiple times. But regardless, like we have a chance this weekend. We have two chances coming up in the next 3 weeks. We play number 6 and number 7 in the next 2 weeks. We play Michigan this weekend. We have a Rutgers after that, and we play Michigan State to wrap up the season. So that's 2 chances to potentially ruin those 2 teams' season. Should we beat them and then they lose again or whatever? So college football is weird, but like fan bases. Michigan is ranked ahead of Michigan State, even though Michigan State beat Michigan State. Michigan State just lost to Purdue. It's just like, just win. Like all you gotta do from now on is win. Like just win. Like all you have to do is just win. That's it. And everything else will not even matter. That loss to Purdue, or that loss to Michigan State, or Ohio State's lost to Oregon, or Oregon's lost to Stanford. If you just win, none of that matters. So that's it. Yeah. And Alabama has a great chance, and they're probably going to meet Georgia in the SEC championship game, and they have a great chance to knock them off. But then you get to that point where it's like, okay, well, now you have 2 SEC teams. One of them just won the SEC championship game, and let's say it's Alabama. So like they're automatically in the playoffs with 1 loss. But then you have Georgia, who was number 1 the entire season, basically. Once the playoffs came out, they have 1 loss. So again, you could have another situation where you have 2 1-loss SEC teams in the playoffs, and then let's say Cincinnati has 1 loss. You kick them out, and even though but if they go undefeated, are you going to put a 1-loss SEC team in over an undefeated Cincinnati team? It's just like college football is the best because there's so much chaos, and there's never a right answer to anything.
You never know. Yeah,
there's never a right answer. Everyone's always going to be mad about something. And everyone always wants the playoffs to be expanded to 8 or 12 or whatever. And
they only do that because necessarily their team did not get in. So that's when you want it. If your team was 2, you don't care.
Yeah. And it's like Penn State had a chance in 2016 when we won the Big Ten. We ended up going to the Rose Bowl, not the playoffs. But it's like we lost to Pitt, second game of the season. Don't lose to Pitt, and you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We didn't lose the rest of the way after that. I think we lost 1 more game. We were 10-2 to finish the regular season. Don't lose to Pitt, second game of the season, and you're in the playoffs. So it's like all you gotta do is just win. I know it's easier said than done, and no one's ever gonna be happy about it. There's never a right answer. Expanding the playoffs might help. It might not help. It might cause more confusion. So, but that's why I love college football, and college basketball is the same way. Yeah, just win, baby, win.
Yeah. So next thing I want to bring up, talk about just win. So congrats goes out to the Atlanta Braves. They beat the Houston Astros. It's funny because a lot of people are saying, damn, the Houston Astros, they've been to the World Series 3 times, lost all 3 times. Just to correct them, they did win once. No. It was under the cheating time that it did happen.
Do they still have that, right?
They technically do.
They didn't take it away, right?
This ain't Reggie Bush. So,
yeah.
So I brought that up because Atlanta Braves, they probably went to Magic City and enjoyed themselves out there. And I brought also Magic City up because this isn't where Drake went, but Drake just spent $1 million at the strip club. I don't know why the hell you are spending $1 million at the strip club, and then going off of $1 million to top him, Elon Musk just sold $1.1 billion of his Tesla stock. So it just goes to show you, and this all came off of a Twitter poll that Elon Musk said, should he sell his some of his Tesla stock or not? So let everyone know, Elon Musk owns a little over 10% of Tesla. So when it's worth $1 trillion, you can do the math on how much that is. That's easily $100 billion. Just wanted to tie that in together really fast. And then the next thing,
That's just so much money.
It's crazy money. Next thing I want to end up just bringing up really fast, and it's 2 quick things. So the first thing is we'll talk about Nikola Jokic. So can you tell everybody about what happened and then your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So Nikola Jokic, center for the Denver Nuggets, reigning NBA MVP by default. He's from Serbia. He has 2 brothers, which they come into play here in a second. Their game against the Miami Heat. So in the NBA, there's what's known as a take foul, and it's usually on a fast break. If you're trying to stop the fast break, a player getting out and get an easy bucket, you just grab him by the jersey or bump into him or whatever, and there's a foul. And it happens all the time. Usually, it's just like a simple bump. You just grab him by the jersey or whatever. But Markieff Morris of the Miami Heat, Jokic had the ball up, so everything was exposed. He's about to throw it to his teammate, and Markieff Morris gave him a little extra bump. And like Markieff Morris is 6'8", 230 pounds ish. And he gave him a little bump, and Jokic did not like that, which none of us would. If you've played ball, which you and I both have, we've both taken unnecessary fouls, which like we probably reacted differently both times or all of the time, whenever that happens. And Markieff Morris was walking away, and Jokic gave him, and again, Nikola Jokic is damn near 7 feet tall, probably
big dude,
240, 250-ish, big dude, right? And he gave him a full-on Serbian shove in the back, whiplash and all. He's actually, Markieff Morris is not playing tonight because of that whiplash. Gave him the whiplash, his head just all over the place.
Yeah, he did, over the ground.
Someone described it as a melee, which I think you sent me that text.
Yeah,
it was not a melee. This was not a melee. Was what happened at the Palace of Auburn Hills in 2003, 2004, with the Pistons and the Pacers. This was just like a skirmish. There was no other punches.
Nobody fought. Yeah.
Tyler Hero tried to step in. He did not want that smoke, and like it just became this thing. It just taken on a whole other life of its own, because the Morris twins, Markieff, who plays for the Heat, and his brother Marcus, who I think plays for the Clippers.
Yes, sir.
They can both ball, right? Don't get me wrong, they can both ball, but they have the reputation of being the guys that come in and muck it up, is what they say. They are what used to be called the goons. They come in and just agitate you. They can ball. They can put up 20 points a game if they want to, but they get under your skin very easily.
And that's their role.
Very easily. That's what they come in and do. And that's what they did. And Nikola Jokic, his brothers, who I just mentioned, they are at every single game, pretty much, or they're at least at every Nuggets home game. I don't know if they travel the away games or not. But if there was a camera on them when this happened, I guarantee you they were ready to run onto that court.
Yes.
And they will not care who's in front of them. They will knock out every single person. I would not mess with them whatsoever, because they're not the same size as Jokic, but they are damn near close. But they are jacked. They're both just tatted up Serbian dudes. And I don't know where, and I don't know the history of Serbia, and like if it's like
Miarossa.
Yeah, that. I don't know if it's how rough and tough it is, but I'm not messing with them. And now the Heat play, or the Nuggets play in Miami, November 29th, I think it is. Jokic brothers are going to be there.
Oh, it's on.
And there's as soon as the ball is tipped, something's going to happen. And everyone was saying Jimmy Butler. My thing is, dude, I don't know how you. Yeah, Jimmy Butler was waving, come to the back. It's bro, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
This isn't like a gang war. This isn't like an after school fight. No. Nothing's going to happen, because anyone who does that, they're going to be suspended for multiple games, fined multiple tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. No one wants to do that. What do you think is going to happen?
If you guys saw the picture, you saw Jimmy in the corner when they tried to go to the locker room.
Okay, don't let's not act tough. Okay, let's not do this. I love Udonis Haslam, but he ain't doing anything.
Yo, he's over 40, just getting a check,
bro. And I've seen all these Miami Heat. I don't know if they're media people or whatever, or supposed media people. They're loving this. They're oh, we can't wait till those punks come to Miami, and this and that, bro. You do not want the Jokic brothers coming to Miami, sitting courtside, and I would love if his brothers, if something happened to him, if he got fouled hard or went down or whatever, and it was blatant, if they just ran on the court and just started an actual melee.
I know.
And they would get banned from arenas for life, which would be warranted, I would guess. I just want to see it happen. Maybe his last season when he's about to retire, someone foul him, and they just you know what, fuck it. Last season, let's go. We're not coming back to the US after this. Let's just do this. But like again, if you're a Miami Heat player or like fan, what do you think is going to happen when they come to Miami? Nothing.
Nope.
Like there might be a couple hard fouls, but like they're not going to bust out like guns or like bow and arrows or like they're not going to like this isn't going to turn into anything. It was. I don't know how you feel about it, but I was okay with the reaction by Jokic. Like, it could have been a lot worse, but one wrong turn deserves another.
So that's the big thing, because I was listening to, TNT is the one place I will listen to just hear their commentary. And all you have to listen to is Kenny Smith. He was like, we're swinging. Like, that's the biggest
all
thing.
He said. That's all he said. That's all he said, the entire thing.
Yo, Nikola did what any person in the right mind is going to think. Some people might have the refrain in them to not do it, but they're going to be like, all right, why the hell you have to do that? You could have just like tapped me or like touched me a little bit, but he used his side body to end up going into him. And then Chuck said this, he was like, just be happy you ain't turn around, because it would have been your face at that point. Bro. Yeah, and Nikola just went side. That wasn't even his whole body weight. I hope everyone knows that. Because if his whole body weight, my man would have probably had torn something.
He would have broken his damn neck.
Yes. Yeah. And he like fell. And that was just a little tap. Because the brothers, and the crazy part is, I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but they have a Twitter account. There's no picture for the Twitter account. And the only person they follow is Jamal Murray. And I'm just like, you do not want to mess with them. That whole Eastern European aspect of people's lives, like Western Asian, they're built differently. The snow's different for them. The way they live is different. Like the fight's different. Like they have to fight to survive. You fight over here to survive, but you have guns and stuff like that, and you might have to fight. They are big. Imagine some Serbian chasing after you. Like, I promise you, if the Morris brothers saw him, he'd be like, all right, you know what? Let's settle this a different way.
Yeah, they don't want that. They don't.
Talking about other big people, what are your thoughts on Zion Williamson?
It just sucks, like he was labeled as like that next dude that's going to come along and maybe not be the next player in like the GOAT conversation, but like the next star of the NBA. And he was, I mean, we all saw what he did at Duke, and he
nice,
and he was the human highlight reel every single night. So I think everyone just wants him to get back to that, but like, my guy, you gotta drop some LBs, bro. Yeah, not like because like he needs to, but like with the injury he has, a foot injury, and how big he is and what he does, it's not like he's a perimeter player and he's in the paint banging all the time.
Yeah.
So you need to drop some weight, bro. And I mean, shit, like if I was in his corner, I'd be like, yo, bro, just take the season off, get your foot right. No need to rush it. You're 19, 20 years old, whatever he is.
Yeah, you have a long time still to play.
Bro, take this season off and don't rush it. Get yourself into like good shape so your foot's not going to give out on you again, because we don't want another like Greg Oden type of situation.
I know. Yeah, Zion had so much promise, and he still does.
He still does, yeah.
Yeah, just get healthy. Your team's not doing well already, so just call it a day.
There's no need. Like if they were in the playoffs, like I think they're dead last. I think they're 1 in like 10. So like there's no need for you to come back, like unless they climb their way up there. But it just doesn't. Yeah, they're not going to.
Thank you.
Yeah, get out of here. So
Ingram's not even playing every game either.
Yeah, so there's no need for you to really even try to come back. I mean, maybe like at the end of the season, just to like play some games and like get back into shape if you want to. But like if I was in his corner, I would tell him, look, dude, just take the season off. You still have a ton of time in your career, hopefully another 12, 13 years, whatever, and get yourself right, get back into shape, and then come back next year.
Yeah. Next thing I wanted to bring up, and it'll be super fast because I was texting Stephen about this. So MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., is one that when it happened, we questioned why so much at that rate. I guess they were afraid that other people would end up like giving him that amount of money, but he's had back injuries for so long. And that's the issue, because you gave him all this money and all they said is he's out for this foreseeable future. They didn't give a day. or anything. So this is something that's a lingering issue.
Yeah.
And that's a concern. Like, we haven't even seen his full potential, and y'all gave him this max. We saw flashes of what it potentially could be, but you guys have Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and MPJ all signed. They're all not playing out the whole max. That's what people need to understand. These players do not play out the whole max. It looks great up front, the dollar signs that they have. But Steve and I talk about, you got to look at that guaranteed amount. You have to look at the signing bonus. You have to look at what is incentive based, because you're doing all this and he's injured. You still got to pay him. Hashtag Sam Bradford.
Yeah. And this is like, especially with a back injury, dude. I mean, it's just so tough to say. It's tough to say with any injury, but with a back injury, once your back goes, and he's looked good. Like it looked like he bounced back. But I don't know if you saw, I think it was the last game he played so far. He had a fast break dunk, and he's one of the more athletic dudes, athletic young guys. He's 6'8". He can get up, but he just looked like he lost something. Like when he went up for this, he just didn't get up. And when that happens, you don't think much of it. But then like you watch it again, and you're like, this kid back injury. Like you see it happen, you're like, man, like that might have been it right there. I want to transition real quick. Speaking of injuries and like and players and everything.
Perfect transition.
So I was watching and I told you I wanted to talk about this. I was watching the Rams Titans game, and we all know Derrick Henry's out for the rest of the season. So the Titans signed Adrian Peterson. And like when you hear that, at least for me, I'm like, okay, AP, it's cool. And then there's like that small part of me that's like, I know what Adrian Peterson was. I know what he was in college. I know what he was 10 years ago. And I know what kind of player he was. He's not that guy. Like we all know he's not that guy. He tries to be, but he's not. But there's like a small part of me that's like, okay, wherever he signs, and he signed with a bunch of teams over the last like 5-6 years. He signed with the Titans, right? And the Titans, a large part of Derrick Henry's success is his offensive line. As you see with other teams, like if you don't have an offensive line, you're not gonna do shit in the pass game, the run game, everything. So, and we all know a large part of Derrick Henry's success is Derrick Henry, but the offensive line has a large hand in that. And I'm like, okay, maybe maybe this will be like a little bit of like a spark for AP. Dude, I just want that one game where he has like 25 carries, $160, and like 3 touchdowns. And I can just sit back and be like, okay, like you can be done now. Like,
you can give him to him once.
I feel the same way about Dwight Howard. I'm like, okay, Dwight, we all know what, and they're like, I think they're the same age or like damn near close to it. We all know what Dwight Howard was in Orlando. We all know what he's been. We all know he's a Hall of Famer, and he was arguably one of the top 35 players in the league at one point. I just want him to have, in the NBA, it's different. You got to have stretches. I would love him to have like a 3 or 4 game stretch where he averages like 20 and like 13 and like 5 blocks, just to have him have like that one more moment. Because we're starting to see a lot of these players like Dwight and AP, like we've seen their entire careers. And like, it's like Melo is like getting his one last hurrah. So a lot of those guys, we're starting to see their careers come to an end, which is kind of cool in some aspect of like, we've seen entire careers, but like, I just want AP to have like that one more game. It's like he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. They're all gonna be Hall of Famers, but like I just want him to have that one more send off like Kobe had. Kobe had dropped 60, like the game winner, which that's a anomaly. That doesn't happen. But just like that one more game, 25 carries, $160, 3 touchdowns, looking like the old AP. It's not gonna happen, but I'm holding on like that one more game. I feel the same way about Ben Roethlisberger too. Just one more game, one more like big game, like 35 of 45 or 350 and like 4 touchdowns. Come on, I feel it.
So you brought up Dwight Howard and Adrian Peterson. Dwight Howard is 35. Adrian Peterson is 36. So you were right on par. I think both of them.
They both came into their respective leagues, I think, around the same time too. I think 03 or I think 04, Dwight came in. I think AP came in the same year.
Mhm.
So Dwight's in his 18th season, and AP is probably about the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought that up. Well, Stephen brought that up, and I want to segue it more into the NFL. We'll get into the picks in a second, but I just want to talk about the Raiders because it seems as though there's always
Do we?
something
Do we?
with the Raiders. I know we don't really want to talk about them, but clearly this is the big thing that is the elephant in the room because first it was Gruden, then it became Ruggs, then it became Arnett. And who I feel bad for is, I don't forget the executives, everything. I feel bad for Derek Carr because that's the
Yeah.
person they always look to for any and everything in the world. And it's always like, all right, so what's going on this time?
He's too good of a dude to be put through shit like this. And he always just comes out with like the most positive attitude. And, you know, he talked about Henry Ruggs and just needs someone to love him. And like, he's just that guy. And if you understand what type of person he is, you understand like that's who he is. He's never going to leave someone behind. He's always going to try and pick up every single person, no matter what you've done in life. He's going to pick you up. And that's who he is. Like, yeah, I feel bad for him that he's always, you know, they look at him to play peacekeeper and like play Jesus Christ in situations. Yeah. And yeah, I feel bad for him that they just keep doing that. But the Raiders just like, they're just cursed, bro. Every season something happens. And like let's not blame their move to Vegas for this happening, because this could have happened if they were still in Oakland with Henry Ruggs. But like something's going on with the Raiders where like the NFL, the football gods are just like, nope, not you guys.
Yeah, you're not having this time. Next thing I want to talk about, just so we don't end up going too far along with this, NFL picks. So Steve and I talked about this, and we're at the kind of midway-ish point of things. So we're just going to say who we feel our MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Rookie of the Year are. You want to go first?
Sure. MVP, I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
Okay, that's not bad.
Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with TJ Watt.
Okay.
Rookie of the Year. Can we do like one? Is there one overall, or is it both? There's offense and defense, right?
Yeah, offense and defense.
Shit. Offense. Ooh. Defense, I'm gonna go Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Like that's not saying because I'm a homer, but offensive MVP or offensive Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
So offensive Rookie of the Year right now, I have Jamar Chase. But your boy, the tight end, is creeping his way up there.
Pat Frymuth?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Mac Jones? Does he have a shot at all?
I believe if the Patriots were to find a way to make the playoffs,
if they keep winning,
Mac Jones needs to be up there. And I think also Bill Belichick needs to be in talks for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
If that were to happen.
I would agree with Jamar Chase. I think it's a pretty safe bet. I mean, especially if they win the division, I think, or even if they make the wild card, I think he would still have a good shot. I think Micah Parsons right now is a lock to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Only person I have competing close to him is Asante Samuel Jr.
What about his teammate, Diggs?
Diggs is second year.
Is he?
Yeah, I found that out.
Oh, damn.
So yeah,
fuck me,
Diggs
right?
I know. So this is why I like having these discussions with Steven, because certain topics will be the same but my MVP, and I guess I've been able to look into him a lot. I have Lamar Jackson. He has had such an underrated season in the sense that this man is in the top, I think it was the top 7 in rushing yards, like out of everyone. And he single-handedly is doing it. You never know what wide receiver is going to be first. Him and Justin Tucker, I think, have won a lot of games for this team, just in how they're doing it.
I will say, much like the Heisman, like it usually goes to, like, if you're the reason why your team is winning, damn near every game. And Lamar Jackson is the reason why the Ravens are winning these close games. And they've come back from their last like 3 or 4 wins have all been like major comebacks. And he's the reason. Like, you just can't stop him. And
nobody can figure out how to stop him.
And everyone was like, like, is the NFL going to figure him out? No. Like, no, you just like, and even though it's like Michael Vick, even though Michael Vick couldn't pass, like, you still couldn't stop him when he was running. Like, until like, and like, what are you going to do with Lamar Jackson? Like, people like, force him to be a passer. He's still a good passer.
He is. And he's like, getting some wide receivers there too.
Yeah. And like, and we talked about this like a month ago or so. Like, he's like, I feel like there was always this narrative, like, he's not a good passer. What are people watching?
I know. Yeah.
he's still good. Yeah.
Yeah. Big thing people need to realize, and this goes into like the Jamar Chase discussion. So Lamar Jackson doesn't have as many interceptions as Joe Burrow, but you guys, a lot of people think Joe Burrow is probably the better quarterback. Joe Burrow has the same amount of interceptions as Sam Darnold. What is Sam Darnold doing half the time? Not trying to be mean to him, but he's either injured or they're benching him or something like that. Sam Darnold has 11 interceptions. Joe Burrow has 11 interceptions.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's offensive weapons, the wide receivers and stuff, are able to do as much because Joe Burrow is a risk taker. Don't have anybody out there say that he's risk adverse. Hell no. Joe Burrow's taking risks. If you have 11 interceptions, you're taking risks out there and just slinging the ball wherever you want to. But for MVP, I have Lamar Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year. A lot of people will not guess this, but number 1, I have Logan Wilson. And Logan Wilson, linebacker, Wyoming. So he has 78 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 1 sack. I have number 2, TJ Watt. But when I looked at those numbers as a linebacker, I was just like, damn, he really is all over the field. The only thing I can give credit to Watt for over Wilson, Watt got the sacks. But then I try to think about, what are you doing at like every single level? Myles Garrett got it at the sacks position. And then I looked at the tackles. It's straight linebackers to be in the middle. So then you got to figure out who's doing something at all 3 levels. And that's why I end up going with like Logan Wilson. It's a different pick. And then TJ Watt, number 2, I think it'll be one of the names like TJ Watt or Myles Garrett will probably get it, but I think Logan Wilson probably needs to be in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons. So those were the easy ones. Let's get into them picks though, because that's really where it matters. So
does it though? Does it, Christian?
So before we do the picks, I want to let everyone know a couple of waiver wires that you guys should end up knowing about. So Rashad Bateman, if he's out there, you probably should look into picking him up. Elijah Moore is probably a safer bet this week because Mike White will be the quarterback for the New York Jets. If Zach Wilson comes back, do not start any wide receiver. Just start Zach Wilson at quarterback, wide receiver, running back, everything, because the receiving options are not going to be there either. Make sure you look at running backs. So Jordan Howard and Gainwell for the Eagles are both viable options as long as Miles Sanders is not playing. And then for the quarterbacks, you can choose Teddy Two Gloves because he is playing the Eagles this week. So that's what you can end up looking for that. The Tennessee Titans, look at them because I'm pretty sure they play Detroit or New Orleans this week. Sorry, Pittsburgh plays Detroit. Tennessee plays New Orleans this week. So those are both defenses you can look into and you can do well with. The New England Patriots defense is also another one you can stream if you want to out there. But with the first game, Ravens-Dolphins, who you got?
For some reason, I want to go back and forth on this one, but I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Okay. So I got Baltimore too. It's not as easy as people think, I will say, because you never know which Baltimore you will get. They are doing well. Falcons, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
So I have the Cowboys on that.
A little bit of letdown, but I don't see it happening two weeks in a row.
I don't think so. Saints, Titans. This is kind of a tough one because there's no Derrick Henry.
Where's that at?
Tennessee.
I'm going with Titans.
So I have the Titans in that one. I can't fully trust the Saints just yet. They are doing not too bad, but they have a lot of different question marks. Michael Thomas is just not playing for the rest of this year. So you have to figure out that. The whole OBJ thing is an interesting conversation. Bruce Arians did come out and say he is not having OBJ because he already has AB and they don't need too many more letters. And I was
like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? I don't like. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about that.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
The next one, Jags Colts.
Ugh.
The Jags just came off a win.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Wow. So until they prove otherwise, Michael Pittman is doing it. And I don't know why Carson Wentz just all of a sudden said, let's start throwing it to the tallest guy out there on the field. But I'm going to go with the Colts in that one. Browns, Pats.
Pats.
I have the Pats in that one. The next game, Bills, Jets.
Bills. They're not going to lose 2 games in a row to dog shit teams.
So they're not going to lose. And then also, this is probably the perfect bounce back game for them. You don't know what you're getting on the Jets team, so the Bills can do it. Even if the Bills lose this one, I'm still not giving up hope in them. They're going to make the playoffs. Now, if they don't make the playoffs, then I'll start questioning things. But you just pay Josh Allen. Dawson Knox is coming back, so that should help out the offense as well. Pay attention to see if Zach Moss plays or not, because if Zach Moss does not play, then Devin Singletary could be a viable option for you all out there, because it'll just be one running back in the backfield. The next one is the Lions and the Steelers. And if you say what I think you're going to say, you've been doing good with it, though.
No, I'm going to go with the Steelers. I finally have to. The Lions suck. And
they do.
I got to. The Steelers are like, they're not playing great, but the defense has been playing a lot better. The offense is playing a lot better. Defense is playing great. TJ Watt might have another 3-sack game. Mm-hmm. I'm finally going to go with Pittsburgh.
So I have the Steelers in this one as well, but Ben Roethlisberger is looking old. That's all I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. Like some of them throws he is throwing. I remember he did a jump throw, and I didn't know if it was going to Washington or Johnson. It just landed.
Bro.
And the guy. So Bucks and football team.
Bucks.
I have the Bucks in this one.
Coming off a bye.
Yeah, coming off a bye, and Tom Brady has 25 touchdowns. He leads the league.
Yeah,
with that.
I didn't know that until I saw that the other day.
I know that's crazy. Oldest guy got the most touchdowns, and I'm just thinking nobody else has that many. Patrick Mahomes got a lot of interceptions, but that's how it is. Panthers, Cardinals. Cardinals didn't do too bad last week.
Cardinals.
Christian McCaffrey is back. Doesn't really help me in fantasy football because who really ever knows? PJ Walker, think should be the starter there. Sam Darnold is injured, so I have the Cardinals in that one. Vikings, Chargers.
Vikings. This is a shitty game.
Damn.
Yeah.
Until they prove otherwise, I'm going to go with the Chargers. Chargers have hit or miss games, but I think I trust the Chargers and Justin Herbert more than I trust the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. You never know how the offense is going to go. Mm-hmm. They legit did not throw up that much last week, but the week before, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson was going to work. So you never know with that. Eagles, Broncos. I don't really need to say too much on that one because I have the Broncos. I will trust Teddy Two Gloves over that piss poor Eagles defense any day. Anybody, Justin Herbert had like 29, 30 points in fantasy football because it's going to happen regardless. When in doubt, if you need a quarterback to stream, just choose against the Eagles defense. Historically, they've had a bad defense. I don't care if you talk about the Brian Dawkins years. When they had Ludo Shepard, Sheldon Brown, they were still just guessing. When they had Asante Samuel, they were guessing. You can guess and be right a good amount of times. A dead clock is right twice a day, so you can still be right on your guesses and stuff like that. Yep. So just think about that. Jalen Mills, look what happened when I went to New England. But I have the Broncos, Seahawks, Packers.
Oh, God.
This is another weird game.
I think Russell Wilson is playing, from what I've heard. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is playing if things go well. I think if they're both playing, probably go with the Packers. I think I know for a fact that Russell Wilson is playing, so I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Just because of the uncertainty with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and everything.
So mine, I'm going to start with the caveat and say, if Aaron Rodgers does play, I got the Packers. If Aaron Rodgers does not play, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. And I say that because just look at how the offense and everything looks without Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love was not able to get it to Jones or Devontae Adams. Nobody out there. And it looks like Aaron Jones this summer, he might not be back next year because they started playing a lot more Dylan. And that's something I could just be saying all this, but it's something I noticed when the Browns had OBJ. They just weren't using Odell Beckham. I don't know what it was, if it was the coach or if it was Baker Mayfield, or if you just talk to OBJ's dad, he'll just say that the quarterback sucks. If you talk to Steve Smith, he'll just say the quarterback is not good. So it might be when in doubt, go with the quarterback, because Jarvis Landry was nice in Miami. You don't know about him now.
Yeah.
But
it's too bad.
Next one, Chiefs Raiders.
Chiefs, they look solid against the Packers. Not like great, but they looked a little bit better than they had over the last 2 or 3 weeks, a month. The Raiders, I think they're in like a weird spot where it's like the season you can just take whatever's been happening and use it or not, and the season just goes down. So like this is one of like those games where it's like, okay, which way is your season going to go? So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Just I think they're the better team.
I got the Chiefs. The Raiders, it seems like at this rate that they're going, they're going to cut or fire more people than they will have wins. Because just every single week, it just seems to be something. So I have the Chiefs in that one. Last game should be a cool game to end up seeing if all goes well. Rams and 49ers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think they're supposed to get Von Miller for this game, so I'm gonna go with the Rams. I also think they're the better team, but I also think it's a bounce back game for them too, because Sam Bradford. I don't know where that came from. My apologies.
Hey, shout out Sam Bradford.
Yeah, my apologies, Matthew Stafford, on that one. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
So I got Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Regardless, pay attention to this, and I commend every single person out there that one has Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, and two, whoever just owns Cooper Kupp in their leagues. Yeah. Because Cooper Kupp is having himself a year. The same way Derrick Henry was running away with the rushing yards, Cooper Kupp is running away with those receiving yards. All they needed was a quarterback. Sorry, Jared Goff, but Matthew Stafford said he know how to throw that ball, and that ball will get to Cooper Kupp's hands. And they're spreading it around the field. So Van Jefferson gets his at times, Higbee gets his at times, Robert Woods gets his at times. But the one person you know that will get it is Cooper Kupp and Darrell Henderson. If you have a keeper league, I would say keep both of those or try to keep one of them, because Henderson clearly has shown that he can be a solid running back that's there, regardless if Cam Akers comes back or not. He had a nice year. He's a bigger running back. And then Cooper Kupp is doing very well. But Matthew Stafford, I'm just happy for him. He deserved to get out of Detroit, and he's doing good. Yeah, so that's what I got. With the sports side, to end it, what you got?
I don't know, man. Like, just keep it real, just keep it real with everybody, that's it. I don't have anything. I don't have any words of wisdom. Just keep it real, folks. Penn State's got a big game on Saturday. We got Michigan quick slants tomorrow night. We got Jordan Hill on. Yeah, bro, you know how it is. Just keep it real.
So I'll make my shout out pretty quick. Shout out to all the people out there that I've been talking to either in class or like the different meetings I've gone to that take our podcast seriously and want to end up listening to it and say that they'll end up following us. So I have noticed some of the subscribers, and I do notice that they have followed us. So shout out to you all that end up following and listening and subscribing. Make sure to end up doing that still. The people that are involved in cryptocurrency, make sure you end up just taking profit. Outside of that, shout out to my taxes professor that I got a good grade in for that class. So I thought I was going to do bad, but I did well. So be that much closer to graduating, and I won't be in school for 20 years anymore.
Yeah, my man's been in school for a minute though. Golly, bro. You're making the rest of us look bad.
I know. But I'll lead with this saying, Steve and I have big things for next year. We started talking about different things we're going to do come the new year. So get ready and get hyped for it. December is going to be great for us. And then going into that next year, we're going to start doing various different things. So I'm excited for it.
And if anybody out there wants to throw us a sponsorship, we're open to that too.
Throw sponsorships all the time at us.
Big
And
or small.
yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're in meme coins, take your profit because some got rug pulled. There was one out there today, Kawaii Kiba, that I brought up earlier. They had a rug pull. It doesn't really matter because I only put $100 into it. So for the people out there that put thousands of dollars out there, you're the reason. But anyways, we out. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.